What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I've been a little MIA with the PA videos. I was sick for a week and a half, and then I had a very impromptu trip to the Pacific Northwest to visit some friends and family. Today's video, I'm gonna be going over how to choose which PA programs to apply to. Here we go. I finally got a haircut after 3 months, so my hair is super short. I kind of wish I didn't cut it, but it definitely feels more comfortable and I like to have short hair, so yeah. So CASPA is opening up in a little bit over a month and you're probably trying to decide which programs you want to choose to apply to. I'm gonna go over a number of things to consider when choosing a program, and hopefully this helps you narrow down your program choices. So the first and I think very important thing to consider for each program is their first time PANCE passing rate. So the PANCE is the PA National Certification Exam, and each school should provide you with their first time passing rate statistics. So the national average is around 92%, which is amazing, which means that PA programs are teaching students very well and doing all the little things to help students pass the national exam. So if you're looking at programs, make sure that their first time PANCE passing rate is around the average. As long as your program is floating around 90%, that means you're in good shape. So the first time national exam passing rate is very important. If your program has been around for a while, they'll usually provide you a 5-year national average or a 5-year program average as well as individual yearly averages. And if the information is not provided on the website, make sure you contact the school and find out for yourself. Going off the first time PANCE passing rate, you also want to consider the attrition rate. So this rate is not as much talked about as the first time PANCE passing rate. Basically what the attrition rate is how many students start the program and how many students actually take the national exam or graduate the program. So the difference between the two is going to be the attrition rate. So however many students drop out from the program divided by how many started is going to be the attrition rate. So if 100 students started the program and 20 dropped out, 20 divided by 100, 20%, that school is gonna have a 20% attrition rate. Something I love about my school is that their 5-year average is around 90%, which is just below the national average, but their attrition rate is practically 0%, which means that the total number of students that start the program, just as many finish the program. So the attrition rate doesn't only calculate students that drop out for academic reasons, it also includes students that drop out for personal or any other reason that might cause them to not want to finish the program. If they decide that PA isn't for them, they're still going to be included in the attrition rate if they drop out of the program. That is also something to keep in mind when looking at the attrition rate of programs. It's not just students dropping out due to poor grades, it's also due to personal reasons and maybe some other external factors. What you want to look for in attrition rate in a program is less than 15%. 0 to 10 is a great range because you can't necessarily count out people who drop out for personal reasons. Anything above 15-20%, that does raise a little bit of a red flag. Another big thing to consider is location. Is your school in an area that you want to work in after you finish school? Do you hate the snow? Are your clinical rotations in an area that you see yourself working in? If your end goal is to work in California, going to a school in California, you're gonna gain more connections than if you went to a school on the East Coast. That just makes sense, right? That doesn't mean that if you do graduate from a school on the East Coast that you can't find a job in California. Not at all. But if you do your rotations, your clinical rotations in California, you're more than likely to gain more connections, obviously, than if you are on the other side of the country. I mentioned quickly, if you hate the snow, maybe going somewhere where it snows 5 months of the year isn't the best option for you. If you can tolerate poor weather conditions, I recommend keeping an open mind. Another thing to consider is the cost and length of the program. If you choose a school with double the tuition of another school and they are basically the same in all other categories, you're obviously going to choose a school that's less expensive. Length of program. Do you want to be in a 2-year program or a 3-year program? So 2-year programs are usually split evenly between didactic, which is the classroom work, and clinical, which is your clinical rotation. 3-year programs can be associated with a dual degree. So if you are interested in pursuing a master's in public health as well, they have 3-year programs where you can get your master's in physician assistant studies and your master's in public health, which is pretty cool. The program I'm going to be starting in June is 28 months. It's 16 months in the classroom and 12 months in the clinical setting. And I like this because it gives us 4 months in the summer to kind of get used to the PA curriculum and not have to be overwhelmed by the material. Another thing to consider is the program accredited? If it's provisionally accredited, it means that the program is still accredited. So don't think that a provisionally accredited program isn't accredited, because it has received accreditation from the national agency that accredits PA programs. Class size. Do you want to go to a school that has a class size of 100? Or do you want an intimate class size of 20, 25? This is also something to consider in terms of your learning skills and your abilities. And do you work better in a small group, or do you like the large classroom setting? Another thing to consider is student experiences. Do the PA students at the program get a lot of exposure to the underserved communities if you're interested in working with the underserved? Does the program have a surgical focus if you're interested in surgery? Does your program let you choose your own electives? There were a number of programs that I applied to that I didn't look too closely into the curriculum, and they didn't offer any elective options, which I thought was interesting, but also something to keep in mind. And most of this information that I'm sharing with you guys can be found on the PA program's website. So if you are interested, make sure you go to that program's website and look for statistics and experiences and basically an overview of the PA program. Ultimately, in my opinion, I think it's very difficult to truly know what programs to apply to and to truly know if it's a great fit for you until you go to the interview, until you communicate and interact with the students and faculty. So that's why I definitely recommend to apply broadly. If there is a program that you think is interesting to you and you can see yourself going there, I highly recommend you to apply, because you're never gonna know unless you do apply. And once you go to the interview, you'll get a better sense of what the program actually is like. The information on websites from the PA programs are limited. There's only so much they can tell you about the program that helps you get a great sense of the program. And you don't truly get a sense of it until you're either in the program or you're interacting with members of the faculty, students, and the environment that the program is in. Those are a number of factors that you should consider when choosing a PA program to apply to. I know the cycle is coming up in a little bit over a month. I'm super excited for you guys. I think I'm more excited now than I was when I was applying, but I guess it's different because I'm starting school already and it's not as stressful. But please go ahead and like the video if it was helpful. Comment below if there's any other reasons or factors that you think should be considered when choosing a PA school. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to be like my blood type, be positive. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.